enjoying being retired. Also supervised student teachers from Cortland. And I'm still looking for one more elementary placement if anybody is daring enough to take on a student teacher at this time for elementary PE. Other than that, it's good to see everybody. I was talking to Joanne and Wendy earlier and Carol, and just thinking, missing the chocolate and the hugs, seeing you guys in person and sharing pictures and all that stuff. So thank you.
Thanks, Barb. Yeah, we miss it too. Every month I get the email saying, yep, you can't have anybody meet anywhere here at Octay Elementary. And while it's obvious, it still is a little, little pain to the heart every time. But last but not least, Frank.
Hi, good to see everybody as well. And it's nice to see everybody else struggling with the tech issues as well. Frank Healy, New Lebanon High School, coaching rep.
Thank you, Frank. All right, I think that's all. Did I miss anybody by chance? Did somebody else enter meet? All right, so let's get right into it here. I posted the agenda again because you'll actually see one of the first links there is December 3rd's minutes. So those are Megan's minutes that were published. You could refer back to that. And with that, it's also our, actually, it's our last one of the year, but it should be back on the website too. So I will be directing you guys to that if I don't post those minutes. We're still kind of figuring out how do we publish minutes in this environment. Some folks aren't formally meeting. All right, that will bring us to treasurer report from Allison. You have anything to report?
Yes, we have up-to-date finances. So that's super exciting. Lisa Corbett did a great job in getting them to me today. She said if she didn't have them to me by January 8th to email her and bug her, but I don't like doing that. But I followed her directions, or otherwise I was going to get asked why I didn't bug her. So for the month of December, we did have rebates for membership. Megan, I'll make sure, right? Megan's on here, right? Where is she? I can't see her. She's on my next screen. Okay. We have $353 in rebates for zone membership. To date, from June to December, we have a total of $743 in memberships for zone. So that was pretty good. We have seen, that is our total revenue that we have seen come in. So that's what we've got going on. Our total expenditures for the month of December is 0, but our year to date from June to December is $1,662.74. Moving into our balances, our balance for our long-term investment is currently at $11,107.60. And we have an interest gain of $261.07. So to just kind of give you where we were last month, our balance was $10,846.53. So we're starting to see, a little bit of an increase with the interest that's being earned. So I will say it again, like I said last month, this was a great decision in moving forward because we are earning money on our money. For our working checking account, as of the 31st, we have $17,414.78. And that is all I have, Dustin.
Thank you very much. Any questions from anyone?
Yeah, I have a question. Dustin,
Yes, go ahead, Sandy.
didn't we talk about moving some of that money over last meeting? Some of that checking account money over?
Yes. We
And did we
did.
do that or did we not?
We have not moved anything yet.
Okay,
I think the last time yes, it was last week or last month, we mentioned that we wanted to do that. We said that we were going to reach out to Patrick Emanuel. Patrick Emanuel, who's our advisor, right?
did we, just refresh my memory, did we set an amount? Because Allison, you said we have, how much in the checking account?
17,000.
Yeah, that money, we're not gonna be spending a lot of that money this year.
Yeah.
We should get that over there as fast as we can, a good chunk of that. It's not that you can't get it back out. So we could put it in for the rest of this year and then take out as our budget sets up for next year again, if you like, but we could be making a lot of money off of that. As Allison said, we can be making a lot more money if we took $10,000 out of that working checking and shifted it over to the long-term accounts. In 6 months, you're going to see a huge difference. So
Yeah.
I just think you ought to move on that.
Yeah,
That
if
would
it was
we'd have to-
10,000, that would mean we'd have a roughly 20,000 in that account. And then whatever our interest from, say that was 260, looking at like 550. So can we put a time are we going to decide that right now? Can we say 10,000 and
Well, we would need a motion and second and all the good things.
We
Would be
didn't
a
do that.
first
We just discussed that last month. We didn't do anything about it.
No,
Correct.
remember we discussed it and then we were talking about putting out a Google form to
Mhm.
get a vote if there weren't enough people
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
to get the vote.
It's not, the money is accessible. It's not like you're going to make a decision. As a matter of fact, the foundation just did the same thing. We moved a lot of money over. I would do it as soon as possible, set up the vote here, take the vote, move it. Can certainly, if something comes up, do you foresee us doing anything this spring? I mean, other than
whatever
the
we do
shirts
would
and
be low cost, would not be,
plaques and shirts maybe, right?
it's items. It's not really any sites that we're reserving, any
Right.
places that we need AV, any awards that are heavy lifts. It's less than 6,000 if you look at our budget. So I think a $10,000.
Well, be conservative, if you like. What they would cost. It cost us last year to do the senior leadership awards and the regular leadership awards, and what those things cost to do the way we did it last spring. So be conservative so you have funds, but I would move some of it. It's making anywhere from, some of it's making 15% right now, over there. So the minimum you're going to make is 8% on it.
No, I agree. Are we at a point where we want to make a motion? I know last week or last month we had less than our quorum, which is why we're going to push it to a quorum, but we didn't.
I'll make a motion. Move money from our checking account into our savings account.
Second,
How much?
Well, you're moving it from your checking account into long-term investments.
To our TD Ameritrade money
Right.
market.
Does it cost anything to move the money back and forth?
No.
Okay,
Allison, make a good judgment on that, being conservative.
for the elementary,
I would recommend 8 to start. And because for t-shirts and we're trying to get more awards, so it would be probably wise of us to have a little bit of a cushion. Things can sometimes cost more than we expect them to, and things can sometimes, we might need something, that we weren't expecting. So I would recommend moving 8.
okay, recommend moving 8 in my motion.
second,
All in favor? 4 voting members, and we have a motion passed. Thank you, everyone.
I will, Dustin, get moving on this tomorrow during one of my planning blocks. And I will CC you on the email with central office.
Thank you. Very good. All right. Any other questions, budget related? All right. That was good. Thank you, guys. We'll move forward to a president's report. As always, I'll get you the link for CTLE, but I do believe you have that right in your agenda. If you click on CTLE, it should bring you right to the form. Fill that out for your hours. Next bullet is our New York State AFERD virtual professional development. That's hot off the press. So this is instead of our conference, which annually, as you know, is in person in Turning Stone. That was kind of on the block to make a decision, and it was decided. I believe it was just recently, board of directors met, and it's a 6-day virtual professional development. There's dates across March 2nd, 4th, 9th, 11th, 16, and 18. And there's different rates for registration. There will be 3 one-hour sessions, having participants choose up to 3 one-hour sessions each day. And there's opportunities to attend up to 18 live sessions over the course of the 6 days. So registration is out coming this week, I believe. If it's not already out, just be on the lookout there. And there is opportunities for CTLE hours if you can watch the recordings, as they will be recording those sessions as well. So all of the options, all of the presenters and such is available on the website. I'd encourage you to check that out. The rates are significantly less than that of the live conference, but there is differences with really how much PD you receive and the costs. But any questions? Anyone else want to add? Any thought on the matter?
I just want to make sure I understood something. You just said something about CTLE for watching stuff. So does that mean the recording? And if you can't make a session you'd like to attend, you'd be able to like watch it at your leisure?
Yeah, I believe if you are registering for the sessions, you will be you get the recording.
Okay.
So you'll be able to receive the CTLE for watching them after the event is actually over. Maybe you weren't able to get there or what have you.
Okay, because I'm not concerned about CTLE, but information, if it's a good session and, you know, with everything going on, they pull all kinds of meetings. And because it's virtual, they can kind of hold it, you know.
Colleen, I think you muted yourself.
I was just saying that the CTLE for me isn't a big deal, but just the opportunity to get information that's good. If you can watch it later, you know, because schedules sometimes now with everything being remote, they expect more fluid movement into things than they would if you were in person
Sure.
in school. Thank you.
So I would say, in the next week, if you haven't already received an email, I would imagine on the website they're having all of the same information. And any questions, Jess Sinecki over in the central office, definitely your go-to. But yeah, it should be pretty good. There's, tons of opportunities lately. So if you're in the need for PD or just looking, there's tons. And I put some of them as bullet points in the agenda here. So as part of my report, I just wanted to kind of highlight. So just recently last week, there was a section, Care to Share. I believe Terry that was your session, right, Terry?
Yes, that was mine. And they hooked up, they're hooking up 2 sections together for the first go of it. And so I was hooked up with adaptive physical education, and we were just last week. And the recording is already on the website. So if you missed it, go check it out.
Thank you. So there'll be more of those to come from other sections as we go, and I'll put them in my agendas, of course, for you, but the emails are coming out, and I'll also tell you another quick one-stop shop. The next one was tonight. I think, Ashley, you mentioned it. Eddie B. Western Zone presented this. It was Live, Love, or live, laugh, and love. So new year full of little more laughs and less stress, I think is the mantra for that one. Sorry that happened to be on our same exact night as our business meeting, which is a reason why moving forward, I'll explain to you a little bit of how we'll be operating webinars and whatnot. But next week, you'll see Tuesday, the 19th, an engaging nutrition and physical activity webinar called We All Eat. That one's Tuesday, 3:30 to 4:30. The next Wednesday is the 25th. That's Capital Zone webinar series. So the next one in line for us. Terry, you want to give us a 101?
Yeah, so our care to share, or not our care to share, our webinar is we have two parts. Our own Megan Reynolds is presenting. Her title is Aligning Remote and In-Person Instruction by Focusing on Fitness. And our second part is by Lindsay Ambrewster, and she's doing a session on simplifying rubrics for teachers and students with a single point rubric. And so they're set up, like Justin said, it's actually Wednesday, January 27th, 6:30 to 7:30. And then after that, we have one scheduled for February 22nd, which is a Monday from 6:30 to 7:30. Lindsay Ambrewster is going to do that one as well for us. And we picked the topic, total participation techniques, COVID-19 style. So she is doing that one. We don't have one for March yet, but March is pretty filled with the state virtual conference. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get a date in, but April most likely will be our next session. And if anybody out there wants to present, you have my email. If not, it's tgendron@cahoes.org. I'll put it in the chat. Does anybody have any questions?
Thanks, Terry. All right, going on to Southeastern Zone. They have a webinar Tuesday, the 26th, the day before ours on the 27th. That's Jim Hamble, Chris Keenan. They're presenting my favorite ed tech tool, Pear Deck, and how I have adapted and survived teaching in hybrid and learning and online learning. That's by Chris Keenan. So one's from New York City, Chris Keenan's Arlington City Central School District. So for most of these webinars, the registration is out there, but you do have to register, and we will be streamlining. So these are great, and there's a lot of them, and you might be even overwhelmed by the sheer number, and not only that, the emails that come through highlighting those. So what we are going to be doing going forward is putting things out on a professional development calendar. So more of a visual form for you all. It's going to be on the central website, New York State AFERD's website. You can click on the calendar. Each day or date will have links, and ideally it's going to be one thing each day, whether that's a business meeting or a webinar or an event or a PD, trying to kind of spread the wealth and allow you as a member to get access not just to your zone's webinar or PD, but everyone's across the state, really kind of making, our PD not just more widespread geographically, but we're tapping into a lot of new people, people that, are really, really great. And if you've been able to see anything recently, it's just super high quality and at a low cost, if not no cost. So depending on the event, the New York State AFERD's PD is coming with a cost, but some of the zones, it's no cost. And it's a really great way to network as well. So you'll expect one email a month, and that's going to be showing each zone's meetings or conferences. You'll have a link that brings you to the calendar, and that should be for pretty ease of use. You able to look on the description, click register if you'd like, and kind of plan holistically. And that just, as a result, leaves us as a working zone putting on these presentations, needing just to be a little bit more ahead of the game. Terry has been great with making sure we are, and we have plenty of interest in presenting, but certainly planning a date becomes nailing down that date is the key. So this will force us to push ourselves out, but it's a good thing. It's a result of what everyone has contributed and just kind of the sheer spirit that we have. Everyone's continuing and not only surviving, but in this sense, thriving with PD. So any questions? All right, so that sums up my kind of rundown of some of those webinars. Sandy Banis over in Bethlehem had wanted me to share a US Nordic opportunity. So I'm not sure for certain if you can access that from the agenda. I know you aren't able to access some of those links because they're just to my emails to allow me to refer back, but the US Nordic, nope, you can't probably access that, but I will have to post these and get them to you, but they're really just highlighting that USA Nordic has put together information for teachers, PE teachers who would like to see them come into their school. They obviously aren't going into their school physically, but they have put together a video and sample lesson plans for teachers to use. This is information that I'd be happy to get to you. It's essentially for Nordic ski, but this is a winter opportunity, a winter activity. So basically, I guess in the minutes, Megan, we could put that I'll put an email out with some of that information for our people who are here. And I'll see what Sandy thinks about pushing it out further. But there are some resources that some folks might be interested in. And I'm sure if you went to USA Nordic, their website, you would find some of the same information as well. All right, Sandy, you have an update for Foundation on our calendar or on our agenda?
Yep, just really brief. We have a new benefactor, the Central Western Zone came in week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So that's very exciting. That's one more zone that came in. And our new grants should be posted by the end of this month. There will be six $1,000 grants available. I expect this year will be much more competitive because it's the second year. It's a little more money and it's a little more well-known, after they saw that grants were awarded. So we're upping our amount because we can afford to do that. And we hope we can do that every year. So those should be up on the website and you'll find those under the Foundation tab, the gold tab. There'll be an area for grants and that's where that application is. And it's rolling applications. You can apply anytime between when they're posted and the end of September. So we just gather them, acknowledge them, verify that they have the information that we need and put them in a folder until the fall, early fall, when we'll start reviewing them. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Great,
Any
thank you,
questions?
Sandy.
Anybody got questions about Foundation stuff?
Did you say Southwestern Zone?
Central Western, sorry, Megan.
Central, no, I messed up. Thank you.
That's okay.
Central
All right, any other questions? On the same line of thinking with grants, there was an opportunity sent out in an email from central office on the 5th, so about a week ago, and it's a grant opportunity for New York teachers. State Farm is putting out $100,000, which would equate to 40 New York State teachers winning a $2,500 grant, and that submission is open right now through January 15th, or as soon as they receive 200 submissions. So if they're capping it out at 200 submissions and they're selecting 40, pretty good odds. Certainly, if you would be interested, that's probably on the New York State AFERD website. They did send an email, like I said, 6 days ago. If you can't find it, I'm happy to shoot it to you, but that sounds like a pretty good opportunity. Questions? Barb?
There we go. Question is, are those grants just for phys ed teachers or all levels of teaching and subject areas?
All levels of teaching, subject areas, and it's not a very hard grant application. There's 3 questions, I think, in addition to like your name and what level and everything else. One is what you want to do, how it will impact your problems, and then how it can be replicated by others.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And 200 words each for those 3 questions.
So you are exactly right, Colleen. It's a brief application, 3 fields to fill out, up to 200 words. I put the link right in the chat for anyone interested. All
And
right.
I think it also said school districts can apply for up to 4. So if
Okay. All right. Okay, let's move to section reports. I did not get too many reports through the mail, but let's see what we have here. We'll start with adapted, PE sport, Jess Farini. No report, Megan. Aquatics, Colleen.
right now with COVID, there's not a lot going on with pools or lifeguarding courses or anything. But if you are somebody who's been a lifeguard or is an LGI, Red Cross has extended a lot of things. And right now, I think our LGIs, lifeguarding instructors, because there's an in-person section every 2 years, the extension on that is like, I want to say till this coming September. It's a real long one. And then also too, with the CPR for lifeguards, if you go onto the Red Cross site, there's some form you can fill out saying that you will take a course or something when they become available. Because right now, if you can find a place that would do it, it's like 1 person to a mannequin, and it's very limited. But that's all I've got for aquatics right now.
No, that's fine. Thank you. Coaches, Frank.
Thank you. And Colleen, just out in New Lebanon, we've started our swim practicing already this week because we're in a different league kind of thing, but everything, all the meets are going to be virtual. So nobody's traveling to back and forth.
Yeah, so you guys will swim at home and then send your results in?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. We share the pool with the Berlin kids, and our kids are done at 5, and the Berlin kids come in at 5 o'clock and practice till 6 o'clock. So we're avoiding that kind of thing. So that's one of the ways that we're getting things done, if that helps anybody anywhere. As far as coaches going, I have nothing to report as everything's still kind of on hold kind of thing. And if I did want to mention that I'm doing that plant-based challenge if anybody else is doing it. So if you are, good luck. One day down. I see you, Terry. There you go, Charlie. All right, I'm done. Thank you.
Nice. Good for you, Frank. Stay strong with the challenge. All right. Council of Administrators, Ashley.
In terms of which Buffalo Bill
Not much to report. I believe we're having a conference coming up soon. I think I just got something in my email I need to read about. I did add in the chat that in Suburban Council as well, we're doing virtual bowling meets and swim meets. It's really weird. It's kind of boring. But I take tons of pictures of the kids and we live stream both bowling and the swim meet. So it helps the parents who can't come and see their kids participate. And the kids enjoy it because they're like, wait, are you recording? Can I watch that later? I was like, yep, and you can get better too. So we are trying to meet a little bit more with COA to continue to help support each other, but nothing else in terms of phys ed and health, unfortunately. Sorry, guys.
It's all good, Ashley. Thank you. All right, moving on. Dance, Brandon. He had just wanted to highlight that there is a new dance section president. Tell you who it is. There it is. All right, Alyssa DeBee is a physical education and dance teacher from Syracuse City School District from the Central North Zone. She is our new dance section representative. She was our 2016 Central North Zone's Dance Teacher of the Year in the dance section Amazing Person in 2018. So with that, new section president in dance. That's what Brandon wanted us to report. Equity, diversity, inclusiveness. That's you, Colleen. Colleen, are you muted?
I think not a lot to report as far as a lot of stuff out there. There was that town meeting that several of us attended earlier this fall, which I thought was pretty good. There's a lot of good books out there right now, and Black History Month is in February. I would encourage you all to push your school districts to do something. Something's better than nothing. And just as a, if you get feedback, like if you get pushback from people about why do we have to have Black History Month, one of the answers that's really legitimate is that because most of the history that we teach in schools is white history. So until we get to the point where the curriculum actually gives out the history of African Americans coming through and everything that's happened, and we had Indigenous and Hispanic also, but that's part of the reason why Black History Month is what it is, and it's really integral right now for us to get that out there, even if we do anything that you can do to be included and be part of that for your schools. And right now, with everything being virtual, we could add things that could go across district, not just to a specific building, which I know in Amsterdam, we sometimes get a building, like I will argue every year to do something and I get to do the announcements, but you know, like anything we can do is a big deal. And that's about all I have to say.
Thank you, Colleen. Thanks for that push. Definitely timely, never a bad time. And certainly the month of February. And then did you have anything to kind of direct us that we can include in the minutes by chance? You said you did something with the announcements.
Oh, I've just read stuff and tried to highlight different Black people in history that have done something. And Dr. Martin Luther King is amazing, but to be honest, some of our kids know about him and Rosa Parks, and that's it. So I try to do like different sexes, different ages, different areas. There's a book called Stamp, Dr. Kendi, and I forget other gentleman, I want to say Jason Reynolds, but it's an easy read because it's written at the middle school level, and just to read and get some history. I mean, like some of the stuff you're going to read is hard to read, but it's good information. All right. And you know, just anything you Google, there's a lot right now that's out there. So I don't know, I don't necessarily have like one highlight. I mean, like for us as phys ed, we could do a lot with athletes. There's also the, just some of the activism that athletes have done is also another piece, depending on how bold your district would allow you to be with stuff. There's an awful lot. There's stuff with the runners from the '68 Olympics. If you Google that and brought that up, I mean, some of that stuff, especially because we're remote right now, we're doing a lot online. Some of that stuff would be some good reads or clips of videos for students, I think.
And I want to add, I don't know if you guys know, but I never watch the news, but this day I decided to stay home and wait for my mom to make me some breakfast. And she listens to the news on like volume 200. And I'm like, wait, what? And the NBL, Major Baseball League, just hired their first Black female coach. Like, if that's not Black history, I don't know what is. And it's women's history. Like but it also makes you reflect. In 2020, we're just getting our first female and Black female coach. And sadly, I'll even say to myself, I don't have concept of time, but it just hit me this year. I was like, wait, my great grandmother was a slave. She was picking cotton. Like, damn. And I actually asked my mom if her mom, which is my grandmother, I was like, did Nana pick cotton? Like, was that her thing? And to just realize that slavery, voting, civil rights, like those things all just happened. And we have so much more to go. But I think about Shenandoah. How many Black superintendents have you guys had? right? Like that, you have history, we have history here in Albany. I'm the first Black female athletic director. I'm the first Black athletic director. Probably Black female in section 2, not Black male, because I think the guy at Chatham, I think he's at Chatham. But there's little things like that makes a difference. And we don't, like Colleen was saying, it doesn't just have to be Martin Luther King. It doesn't have to just be Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, and Harriet Tubman. There are so many more of us who are successful and are doing things even right in our community. You know, and you can Google these things, because even when I missed the lady's name, I went right on Google and was like, first female Black baseball coach, and she popped right up. I sent it to my phys ed teachers, and I mentioned, obviously, for Women's History Month, Becky Hammon being the first female to coach the Spurs because Greg Popovich got kicked out, which, again, kudos to Becky, love her, but I think Greg did that on purpose because he is a game changer and he is about being culturally responsive and inclusive. So there are many things that you can Google to help educate your students, because at the end of the day, every single one of us comes in contact with a Black or brown person, and that's the only way that we're gonna ever learn to start to get along better, is as we continue to learn about each other and realize that our differences aren't sometimes too different.
Just one more thing to add to what Ashley was saying, when you look, because for us to learn more of the history is really important so we can pinpoint it. And Amsterdam tends to be more, we have a lot of students that are mixed race. In 1967, in June of 67, Loving versus the state of Virginia made in the state of Virginia illegal for Black and whites to marry. So like in the state that my husband grew up in the year that I was born, it would have been illegal for us to be married. So I mean, like even that, like, so for some of the kids at school, the kids don't even think about that, but like that kind of stuff and that reference, and with all the stuff that's going on now, it's important for us to learn about it as educators, especially those of us that are white, but it's so important for our kids to get the history, because we don't want them to be who we are when we're reading the book going, how come nobody ever told me about that? So it's really important to look that stuff up, and I can throw together a list of some of the stuff that I've read. Yeah, 68 Olympics. Actually, you should come teach some of the stuff I'm taking. You'd be good.
On taken?
No, I'm taking.
Oh.
I've read the only PD we have in Amsterdam this year is all book studies, and a lot of it because it's sponsored by NYSA and we have a grant. So we almost look like we care. I don't think they do. It's just free, but we've read a lot and done a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, we're we've been going for about 10 years now, trying to be culturally responsive. We're still not there yet. But what I'm at least trying to teach my folks, and many of you have heard in my presentations as well, is that hey, here's my boy Danzy. We got to be culturally responsive. And even reflecting on my own department, I got 3 Black men. I was the only Black female. And it kind of, it sucks to have had to move out, but then it is also, another opportunity for me. But I just remember the conversations with my students where they're like, Miss, what are you? I'm like, what do you mean? You can't just be Black. Look at your hair. And so that's why representation matters, because they need to realize that we all come in, and I know it sounds crazy, but especially as kids, we forget that everyone comes in different shapes and sizes, and we all have different hair textures and types of hair and everything else. So there's so much that we can learn from them and that they can learn from us.
Thank you, guys. Hope we're all ready, inspired, motivated, and ready to bring it back to our schools. Words Colleen had, don't be afraid to be bold. I like that, Colleen. That's all the time. We have that power. All right, on to elementary. Carol, elementary PE.
Hi. Well, we are fortunate to have with us Terry Gendron, who is now, as she said before, but I'm introducing her as our elementary physical education rep, president for the state. So that's a very cool thing. Very, very, very cool. Congratulations, Terry. I was sorry I didn't know that before today.
Thank you.
It, one of those things you miss when we don't get together for the conference. You know what I mean? So I felt I got to pay more attention. So anyway, but also Terry, we had talked a little bit before about the webinar series, and did you say enough that you wanted to say about that, or?
So my topic, I'll just give you the information. You can always go to the website. I shared a website called Fit Sanford, FITSANFORD. I can put it in the chat in a minute. I just can't always dual task. But it's a phenomenal website. It's a free resource out of South Dakota. It's their healthcare system. Like we have CDP, HP, MVP. So Sanford Health is out of South Dakota. And they actually are in 26 other states, just not ours. And they have this incredible free resource, K through 8 now. It started K through 5. It's not only physical education, but it's social emotional learning and health. They link actually all of their lessons to the health standards for Shape America. And so I had emailed them, told them I wanted to share their site, got their permission. And as a follow-up, I said, oh, I have so many teachers that are going to sign up for your free newsletter. Would you consider linking your physical activity lessons to the Shape America physical education standards? Because I think that would be a big selling point. And so they contacted me and said, oh, we're interested. Can we contact you back and have a discussion? So that was good because our standards should be on those lessons. But it's phenomenal. I get maybe 1 to 2 emails from them every week, so I don't get inundated. And every email, I will tell you, I will use in either my virtual classes or my in-person classes. I have found so many incredible free lessons. I encourage you to look it up. I'm going to put it in the chat now. If anybody has any questions, that was my part of the Care to Share, and every section is going to put on a webinar each month. So I'm sorry, but we're not doing newsletters, and they don't want us to do email blasts because we're kind of doing way too much with every zone doing webinars and things like that. So that's why I didn't send out a newsletter if you're elementary PE. They asked us not to. Okay. So anyways, I'm going to put it in the email or in the chat now.
Thank you, Terry.
Carol, do you have anything further?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Thank you. I have higher ed professional representative, the section report. There is nothing to report. I did hear from Pete. Says hope all is well, and he hopes to see us next month. On to health with Jess.
Okay, so I have 2 things, and I'm going to pop 2 links in the chat for Meg if she wants to put them in the minutes. The first one is a poster contest, which, you know, I don't know what people are doing. During busier years, I feel like sometimes a poster contest just feels like one more thing, and it's like, no, I can't. But if people are sitting looking for lessons, or if I know our PE teachers have times where like gym space is an issue. So if people are looking for something extra, I thought it was a cool opportunity. It's being put out by Scholastic, the people who do the magazines and the book sales. And it's anti-vaping, which pretty much, you know, health, phys ed, we're all have vested interest in that. It's called the Persuasive Poster Contest. And the deadline's not until March 22nd. I have to see if the link, I didn't post it yet because I don't know if it pasted properly, but I will share it with you, Meg. $500 a piece for the grand prize for the winning students and for the teacher, which is kind of cool. And ultimately the grand prize is that the poster created by the student will also be put into a real poster used by the FDA. So that's kind of crazy. And runners up get awards too, $200 a piece for at least 3 different runners up. The idea is just to talk about why vaping's not my thing. That's their theme. Vaping's not my thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. The second thing is a PD opportunity. And one thing I've really loved about the PD opportunities throughout New York State AFERD is that although many of them are live in the evenings, which is tricky for some of us, the statewide ones, you could go back and rewatch them, you know, on your own time, and they sent out recordings. So this one is similar. This one came through the BOCES. Let me see, the GV BOCES, and it's from the Student Support Services Center. It's entitled Rights, Respect, Responsibility. And it's all about aligning your curriculum with the national sex ed standards, including functional knowledge and skills related to being inclusive of things like gender identity, sexual orientation, etc. It's 100% asynchronous, but they're giving a window of time starting the Monday after February break, February 22nd, through the second week of March. So for 3 weeks, you can access the videos at any point. This one does come with a cost, which I know has been like, in some cases, yes, and in some no for the trainings. But, you know, we have PD days. That's what I said to my colleagues. We're thinking about doing this. It's been a crazy year, and I feel like teachers are not taking their time because being out like just looks different. But even though it's asynchronous, you can use a PD day and then just say, okay, we're going to sit and do the trainings together as a department or whatever. So I think that's what we're planning to do. But speaking of inclusiveness, it's just yet another level of that. So I'll put both of those links into the chat. I have to see why it wasn't posting right. We posted something too long, so I'm going to try again. But so the first one will be for the poster contest, and then the second will be for that training if anybody's interested. And that's it. That's my whole report.
Excellent. Thanks, Jess. I think it's a good idea that taking a day, doing your PD, it's kind of weird environment. Everyone has time that they are using, but it's in quarantine or it's in ways that you don't necessarily like to spend it. And PD kind of has fallen off in terms of taking time in work during work hours, but I certainly think that is important. It's part of the job. It shouldn't be looked at in a certain way. Sometimes it has that. All right, on to Eddie with the exercise science sports medicine report. I don't have anything from him on that. No report. Recreation, leisure, adventure, Terry.
Okay, so for recreation, leisure, and adventure. Okay, so Ski New York, I'm going to put their information in the chat. They have a program every year for this year's third and fourth graders. It had been fourth and fifth graders, but anyways, now it's third and fourth graders. They can ski for free with a paid adult going. They're not offering this year the Learn to Ski and Ride program where you learn how to ski and ride, where they give you a free lesson, but they are honoring the lift ticket. So if you're interested, you should definitely encourage your students if you're elementary PE or if you're you have any sort of contact with students of that age. I know that they can go to any New York State mountain that's on their list. And like I said, they have to apply, they have to fill out an application, but it's a great opportunity to learn a winter sport, and it's an expensive sport. So if you can get there for free, take advantage of it. Then for free curriculum, I've said this before, for Bike New York, it's www.bike.nyc. I'll put that in the chat as well. They have free curriculum for teachers. You can use it with your virtual students as well as your in-person students. And then the geocache, it's still out there. It's getting hits every once in a while, and people really like the location. So if you haven't geocached lately, check that out. That's our zone geocache that I had in all zones. Most of our zones had done this back in June. So other zones across New York State have hidden geocaches as well. And it gets you outside. It's like a treasure hunt. It's really fun. I encourage you guys to join. And then I also looked for great winter hikes. If you're in the mood to get out there, on the dec.newyork.gov website, they list several mountains that are easier, perhaps in this time of year, for you to go visit, with some helpful tips too, because you don't want to get stuck out there and not be prepared. So I'll put those other ones in the chat, and that's all that I have. Oh, one more thing, sorry. Our Care to Share for the Rec and Adventure is going to be with the dance section and aquatics, and it's not until Tuesday, April 2nd. So.
Thank you, Terry. All right. All right. So that brings us to to retirees with Sandy.
There's no formal report, just that our retirees are living the dream.
Yeah, think of my mother who can't go anywhere. She's homebound. Middle school, high school PE. Megan.
Hi, I don't have anything to report for as of right now. I'm working on my webinar. I hope I can, present something really great. I got my soccer team to help me, so it should be a lot of fun.
That sounds good. That's a good little teaser there. Thanks, Megan. Technology, Nick, he reached out to me, he said the family's good and no report on his end, and he hopes to see us also next month. To future professionals, Mackenzie, I have nothing to report from Mackenzie. And that concludes our section reports. We can move to committee reports. I don't think there's too much to update on our first. That's high school student leadership awards. Mark, Ken, Allison, the trio there. I don't know if we had anything to update from last month at that point. I know we'll be getting some communications out soon for nominations. Oh, Allison, go ahead.
No, nothing to update. I just have to connect with Ken a little bit more and to get things going.
All right. I know Ken's mic is not working, but he's been with us on the chat, and we welcome Ken back. So with that, thank you for the section or the committee report. Tamara, Colleen, Jody for elementary and middle school leadership awards.
All right, guys. So yeah, it's about time to get cracking with this. Colleen and I kind of went back and forth today. I would love it if, our usual suspects who like to meet and just come up with ideas, I'll say the committee, the unofficial committee. We were kind of thinking maybe next Monday. I just wanted to make sure the major players and all this could maybe do a quick, like a 20-minute Google Meet, maybe. Try to just solidify what we're going to do. Registration, we don't usually have out until March. So, we still have time, and that way we can have a solid plan before next February's meeting and then get things rolling March 1st or March. So I didn't know if like Sandy, Dustin, if you guys definitely wanted to be a part of that, if Monday evening was available for you. If not, I think Colleen and I are good any weekday except for Thursdays. We're tough. Okay.
A couple of things for everybody to think about and maybe zip us emails on. I know for me, we're hybrid. Like now we're remote and we just flip back and forth. But just usually on the stuff we send out, it's a form that's been there for a while, and it talks about like the types of criteria, what you would look for. I think everybody is pretty good at looking for a kid who's in the gym and is leading in the building and that kind of stuff, because that's easy. That's what we've always done. But I think we should add something to that about what kind of things we want to look for remote learners. Like I know I've got one student who does every assignment, is at every Google Meet, always corresponds with things. The way she does her work is amazing. And I mean, like, I just think this whole virtual thing, like we really need to encourage people to think about those students. And then also too, another piece is everything's going remote right now. So maybe we just go remote with what we send out for, like, instead of sending out the postcards this year, we just go remote and then stay with the same options, but just some things for people to think about and put, like just send us any ideas you have on those two thoughts specifically.
Who else wanted to be a part of that? I believe Terry, Allison, you guys have been a part of our meetings. Barb wants to jump in. Any other takers? Jess, did you want to jump in? Were you able to? I don't know if this would be good practice for you for next year. All right, so.
Yeah, why don't you include me on your email, and then if I can make it work with my schedule, I'll be happy to listen in. My weeknights are, always a little crazy, but if I'm free, I'm happy to join.
All right, cool. All right.
Tamara,
awesome.
Monday's Martin Luther King Day. I'm good with.
Oh shoot, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm good with it if you go with it. I mean, it's a quick meeting, like you said, but
yeah, it'll be quick. Did we want to do something earlier then? I didn't even think about that.
we can do it in the morning.
I think
That is
I think
easier.
7's good because it'll be like away from the computer for the day, unless there's something we have to do, and then meeting with people that are cool instead of like our students who have little circles who are wonderful people, but it'll be refreshing.
All right, so we'll stick with Monday, 7 p.m. If anyone that I didn't call wants to be included in that email, awesome. Thank you, Joanne. I was going to say, just put your name in the chat and I will throw you on that email, okay?
I think so
Thank
far
you.
we have Carol, Colleen, Sandy, Dustin, Jess, Barb, and Terry. Okay, just
Thank
trying to help you out. Mhm.
You rock. Thanks.
Joanne, is that you as well? And
Yep.
Joanne, please. Okay,
Thank you.
very good. All right, so next section is newsletter. I think we've spoken about this in the past month, but newsletter has evolved, no longer doing that platform. That's what you'll see in the webinars, as well as the calendar that we're now going to have kind of at a glance. You can see holding events throughout the month on the website. Okay, Joanne and the awards committee, anything to report?
Okay, last time we mentioned that we are going to continue to get nominations, so go ahead and send them forward so that we'll be ready when in-person awards happen next year.
All right, thank you, Joanne. On to Zone Conference webinar series. Terry.
Okay, so we mentioned our next one is January 27th, Wednesday. Tune in. We've got Megan presenting along with Lindsay. February 22nd is Lindsay again. March looks like we might not be able to fit one in, but April and May, I just had Colleen McCurd and Ashley Chappell volunteers. So we'll figure out what they are going to present for April and May, and then that leaves us with June. So anybody wants to fill in June, let me know.
Already June?
I know.
All right. Capital Zone grants. I saw some things being awarded. Allison.
Yes, we have awarded 4 grants for our members. I'll go through who and what district and what they got, okay? Sandy Banis from Bethlehem received a grant for disc golf baskets for the disc golf unit that they will be doing. She did receive a full grant for $700. I like your little applause there. Very nice, Dustin. Brandon Wagner from South Glens Falls received a partial grant to help continue to grow his jump roping program that he has going in his district. Shannon Phelps from North Warren received a partial grant for her table tennis unit. And Rebecca Cohn from North Colony District received a full grant to outsource her phys ed classes in snowshoes. So I have received claim forms from Brandon so far. The due date is on, let's see. The due date for the claim forms is the 30th of January. I do have one more coming in the mail that was being sent. So, but they're sending it to my school address. So, you know, maybe by July. No, but I'll be on the lookout for that. And I'm just going to do a gentle nudge on the claim form for the other two people just to see where they're at in their process. So really excited. Good things all around. I did get a email a little bit late for an entry, and I just encouraged the individual to apply next year. And the grant, I don't know where this got lost a little bit. It didn't matter anyway, but the grant application on the website was like from 2019, which didn't make any sense because I had sent updated things, but things happen. I'm not going to point fingers at anyone. But it did have my address on it, like my new address. So I did receive a grant application in the mail, and it must have been a really old application because it must have been from 2018. But I spoke with that person. They were not a current member anyway. And I talked with them on the phone at length. So hopefully not only have we gained a member that wants to get more involved in New York State AFERD, but someone who wants to get a little bit more involved with the zone letter. So fingers crossed that we see that membership come through. And that's all we've got. Oh, and grants will open for anyone to apply starting in February. So as soon as these close out, they open back up again. I know we keep extending due dates all the time, but when they open up in February or March and they're due in November, there's no reason to extend the dates. Like, I get it, but I don't think we can continue to do that, or they should just be open all year, all the time.
I hear you. Thank you. And I'm glad we did have some recipients after all. And I hope the snowshoe person gets to actually use them this year if there's snow. And that grant application is very mysterious because I don't know how, but I accidentally sent it to my whole building in an email. It must have been the link that was last copied, and I got a lot of responses saying, this appears to be a grant application. So that was fun one day. Anywho, that is it for our committee reports. And we have just two little things here for new business. So I need some of your thought here, folks. Our first topic is Narcan training. This is something we've done in the past as a zone. It was extremely relevant, the past few years. However, as some of you are not even in your school buildings, it might become less and less relevant. It is going to be offered virtually, however. So I just wanted to kind of put the feeler out. This is no pressure whatsoever. They just inquired with me if they thought we'd be interested. We could certainly hold. They said, we're just letting you know we offer it. And I think they were kind of trying to recruit us. So what are your thoughts? Is this something you think we should open up?
As much as I
Does anyone need to be recerted or refreshed or what have you?
I think as much as I would like to go through the training again, right now, we're all staying away from each other and wearing masks. So that kind of training right now, people are going to be hesitant to get close to anybody anyway. I mean, that sounds bad, but I mean, like, I know they put our whole phys ed department through, and a lot of the coaches, And the argument or the justification was that it was because we would be the ones at a game. And all I thought was if somebody's using drugs in the stands, we might not know it right away. But at this point, we don't, I mean, there's so many things that you can't go to. And, you know, I mean, like the Bills game the other day was one of the first things in New York that was open for spectators.
Dustin, I just kind of think that this might hit people more on a personal level. You know, even not they're not around a lot of people. They will be around people socially in the next 6 months to a year, you know, whether it's somebody you're walking by on the street or in a restaurant. And I think maybe on a personal level, if it's being done virtually, that people may be interested in taking it. You know, you have the time to take it, to look at it, to listen. I think that information is still valuable, even though we're perhaps not in the crowds that we're normally in. You know?
Yep, it's a good point. I think we don't know what necessarily everyone in our zone wants. So maybe we, you know, maybe Terry, we kind of plan around our webinars, our offerings, look at that calendar, maybe solidify a date, and maybe we offer it as a opportunity for all. I mean, this is, you know, capital zone, but maybe we extend it beyond. I'm just trying to put thoughts out there.
I think that's a great idea. I think we should still offer it. Like Sandy said, it might not necessarily be something you're going to use in your school building, but you'll use it, I hope not, in your personal life. I think that's where you would come across it more. And I think that could very well be a webinar that our zone does. I think that's a great plan, Dustin.
I think last time, Dustin, if I recall, they didn't require a minimum. We didn't have a ton of people there, but we might actually get more people if it's done virtually.
Yeah, I don't think this one was,
yeah.
They didn't require a minimum for the virtual. So, and certainly, I mean, I could ask if we have to cap it, we can cap it, but I'll reach back to our contact, and Terry will work together, figure out when it would work best. And I think that's good feedback. So thank you. We're all in agreement. We could go ahead on that. Any other comments, concerns? All right, so look forward to an update, hopefully next month on Narcan. Last bullet here is in light of some of our last conversations as zone presidents, we're planning what our new initiative for kind of the Get Moving theme, which now the name obviously is evolving, but with that, the new idea, I'll explain to you, and then I needed to come to you for feedback on a potential name. So we need the brainstorming right now. So the kind of the framework is this. Basically, there will be pillars. Think of AFERD, or Health, Physical Education, Recreation, Dance, as a choice board. So we're going to offer a board full of activities spanning all of the pillars of our profession. This will be shared to schools. We'll give them suggestions on the choice board, trying to span ages, elementary, middle, high school, things that are going to be age appropriate. So as an example, you know, health might be an activity that's something like getting your CPR training. PE might be something simple for our little ones, such as show off your best basketball skills, all the way to something for a little bit older kids, like show us your best trick shots or demonstrate a certain, you know, routine or etiquette of a sport, getting into some of those more, you know, more specific as you get older. Dance, something simple, you know, all through that to recreation. And so the idea is they have a lot of choice given the variety of circumstance everyone's working in and living in. And there will be prizes awarded. They are looking to get them to do, I think, 4 activities per pillar each month. So the idea is keeping people moving. That's all subject to change. The whole, how the prizes are going to be awarded, we're going to figure out. I'm just trying to give you the kind of main theme, choice board, variety of activities, get people moving over the month and award them with some sort of external reward thing with like a tangible little item. To be determined what that item looks like. But it's been called, as you know, Get Moving New York, the Get Moving video contest. It does not have to say Get Moving, but I think we wanted to bring it back for some names. That was my homework to you all. I know it's kind of hard not being in the whole conversation, but I know I was put on the spot too. About what's the name going to be? I didn't know. So my idea was to bring it back to the zone. So sorry. Look, if you don't have something, it's okay, because cold calling a name for an event is not, it's not what you signed up for tonight. I know.
I can email you tomorrow. I'll think about it overnight if I come up with something.
Let it steep. Get back to me. We'll
Dustin, can you just throw out a few more comments about the pillars?
Yeah, the pillars is just in the choice board, differentiating what's a health-related activity, a PE-related activity, a recreation, a dance thing. We're trying to be holistic with, reflecting our organization, because it's always PE and health. And so we just wanted to extend it, really because the variety of stuff is less relevant to the point that we want people moving, doing something that they can do. Like, we know people might be quarantined, so dancing in your home to music in your living room might be the activity for you for dance. Pillar.
So like a pillars of fitness type idea.
Sure. I see where you're going.
Okay, I had to talk it out a little bit.
You go. You do it. You do your thing, Barb. It's coming, I know.
Or if we had a crazy acronym that we could work with.
I'll note the acronym idea.
Okay. I think that's all I got. It's like 8:37 here.
Yeah. All right. Look, we'll let it steep. If you come to anything, great. If not, we got a lot of brains in the state thinking about this. Oh, Joanne, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if there's something that could rhyme with 21.
Noted.
Like on the run in 21, but it's all not running.
I see where you're going. I like it. Look, this is good. This is more than we had the other night. So off to a great start. I think
21, we've just begun. One of those pillars.
Noted.
Okay.
Like the song, we've only just begun.
You can get the word fun in there, make it fun.
Right. Pillars of fun. Oops.
Pillars,
right.
Pillars of fun in 21.
Yeah.
I think on that note, I'm going to have to say thank you. And in all seriousness, if you have something, though, just shoot me an email. I'm kidding. It's tough. And look, I know we've all had Zoom, Google, whatever you do, overload. Just like the website to get yourself vaccinated. It's overloaded. So with that, I hope you all well. I know that this is a tough time. We do have another meeting in February, right before break. Yes, another break's coming. Whew. And that's the 9th. So Tuesday is our next day. As you know, we rotate. There's going to be some minutes that we could get on the website. There's a lot of PD coming up. Maybe you could put some time away and do that. We have a lot that we can do in terms of celebrating Black history. I love the local examples, close to home. All of that we can do is what we should do. And therefore, any comments, things you want to bring up for the good of the order before we close it out and make a motion to adjourn?
I just shared in the chat. I did an activity right before break. It was to have fun. It was a PE meme tree. So feel free. It's just from one of my classes. If you would like one from all of my classes, email me and I'll send you all of them. But it was hysterical and I loved it. And you click on the ornaments and it brings you to the meme and it's fun stuff. I liked what they came up with. Anyway, my treat to you, if you're interested.
Such a salesman.
I try.
The CTLE link, I believe that will bring you to the link. Yes, it does. For tonight's meeting. That's also in the agenda. Don't forget. Folks, thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you,
great rest
Dustin.
of your week.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.